In this video, I'm going to show you how I started an overfunded whole life insurance policy with only $500 a month, and I grew it to over $22,000. And I was able to pay off close to $12,000 with a high credit card or high interest debt. And I did that in 8 months. Check it out. Okay, I'm going to start always from the bottom. Hopefully I can give you as much detail. My goal is to educate as many people as possible and utilize a concept that's been around for over 100 years. And I learned about it maybe in 2020. And I have since then just been overloading with information. And I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible that are want to have a protected asset and ability to be able to fund and do what the wealthy do. Okay, regardless whether you want to be wealthy, you don't want to be wealthy, but take control of your finances. We work too hard for it. And I wish I would have learned this 30 years ago. You'll hear me say that many, many times. All right, super simple. I started an overfunded whole life policy at $500 a month. I'm going to show you how we grew it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to show you that I ended up taking loans, multiple loans right away, and in the amount of about $11,822. Okay. Now, the policy that I work with, they charge you interest advance. It's a simple interest, like 4 point something. I'll show you in a little second. And then I made payments back to myself because started my own business, right? I wanted to be true as if you're going to start being the banker, if you borrowed from anywhere else, you'd be paying it back. If you borrowed from a friend, you'd have to pay yourself back. If you just took it out of your bank account and left it, you'll never get it back. So this is just one tweak to educate on what I think should be taught across the board as best practices for financial, controlling and taking control of your money and letting it grow and using the dollar twice. So in the payback, because they charge you in advance and they're not expecting you to pay it off until the end of the year. But in my case, when I borrowed, I paid back. When I borrowed, I paid back whenever I could. You just structured loan. They ended up crediting me $207.70. So my overall cost was $175.41. So if you take that, my actual interest rate was 1.48% to pay off debt that was at 14, 18, 28% in interest. Okay. And I'm earning anywhere between 3 to 4% compounded. So I got a net gain of at least 2 to 2.5%. Excellent deal. I'm going to show you how. So I just want to show you what happened for me, and it worked. And that doesn't even count when it renewed, how I funded the policy, and I'm able to access that money to pay off even more debt. And now taking it, I'm free from there, and now I'm going to start utilizing it from an asset base. But let's stay focused on how policy loans work, at least with one of the companies that I write with. Okay, that's number one. So that's the bottom line there. Super simple again. I borrowed $11,822. They upfront charged me each time I took out the loan. Okay, and when I repay back, I ended up paying about this much back in interest that they credited me, as you see here. It cost me $175. Okay, for almost $12,000. Piece of cake. All right, so let me just show you how it starts. Okay, so my first loan, I took out this policy in May of last year, so 5/14/2021. Within a month, I took out a loan. Here's the advance. Okay, and now here's the loan balance. Okay, it grows, and then I made a payment here, a little payment here, and then they gave me a credit back because I paid it in advance. Okay, now the balance it goes up. I borrowed again. Okay, I made a payment. They credited it. The original interest, like I was saying before, is 4.53%. So everybody goes, oh my God, you're paying for it. Why would I be paying on my own money? Well, you're either paying somebody interest, okay, or you're losing interest, right? You want to pay yourself. So theoretically, these are all mutually owned life insurance companies. When a company is mutually owned, that means the policyholders are also owners of the company. So as the company makes money, I also got a dividend at the end of the year. So you get a part of that back as well. I'm not even counting a dividend. I won't even get into that. Okay. So as you're going to see here, look at the loan amounts. Okay. And then interest charge in advance. And I took out more money. Then I took out some more money. Okay. And then you're going to just see that every time I took out money, right, they would charge me interest all the way up to, 11,851 and so on. But then, where it is, okay, then you start seeing that I started making some loan repayments, right? So as I made loan repayments, at that point, towards the beginning of the year, I started really putting in some cash in there. Look at the credits I started getting back, right? This is what I'm paying back. Look at the credits. I'm keep getting credits every time I pay it back. 1,000, it's going. But look what's happening. That loan balance is going down, going down, going down, and now it's at 0. So I paid off, what I had in high interest debt. I have all my money back, okay, and it only cost me let me move this here. Only cost me 1.48%. Now you're okay, well, how did $500 do that? Well, super simple. I'm going to show you. I should show you this to excite you a little bit more real quick. This excited me. Here we go. All right. So now I'm going to show you here. Look for when I started. I took out a policy of $500 and look how as I was putting money in, and look how it kept growing and growing and growing. And the more confidence I had, balancing my savings, my life, my checkbook, staying in control, boom. Okay. It grew all the way up to 20-something thousand dollars, which I'll show you in a few seconds. Okay. The end result is by 114, actually within a year, I got it to $22,585. Just so you know, as this cash value continues to grow, no matter what I took out of the policy, that keeps growing at a contract interest rate, anywhere from 3 to 4% compounded. So it's going to keep growing every year. So I never lose when I take out. So I'm going to show you how I funded it. Super simple. But look how that grows. And that doesn't count how the compounding interest. This is just me putting in cash value, of which you're borrowing from the insurance company. So the 11,000 I took out never affected the growth. If you see, it never went down. Never went down. It's going up, going up. There's just slight even here. It never goes down. So now here's here's how I funded it. So you're going to see at the end of the day, here's the 22, a 925. Okay. So remember, I had 3 more months. So I wanted to get it all funded because I want to see how it worked and making sure my clients are utilizing it in the best possible way. So there's a good statement here that I had written down, that what makes this all work is this. It's not the amount of money you make that counts. It's the plan and the faithful discipline of following the plan that counts. So we're going to help you. If you were to do something with us, we're going to help you. We're going to make sure you're on track. We have quarterly business reviews, but at the end of the day, I want to educate you why the value of overfunded whole life policy just changed everything. And it has really taken off for me and for my clients. And I'm excited to continue just spreading the word, I guess. And I have so much in my head. I don't want to go so long, but I'm telling you this, if you have an opportunity, look into it, read it, see some of the information on my website at victorarocho.com and go from there. So how did I get the quick cash value? Started at $500. So for every $500, I start with the policy, right? 340 of it goes to what's called the flexible paid up edition. So there's 3 parts of the policy. One part of it's the flexible paid up edition. The other part is the whole life policy. And for me to fund the policy, so I don't get any tax ramifications. So all those loans I took out, I didn't pay any tax. All the gains, I'm not paying any taxes. Okay. So I had to have also a little bit of a term on there so I could have enough money to be able to overfund my policy. That's how I did it. There's other ways to do it. You could also just do it with whole life and paid up additions, but this is how this policy is structured. So every single time that I make a payment of $500, they take out of my account, 340 of that goes to cash value. So over that time period, and I still had it till May, right? Excuse me, still had till May. So look at $3,000 in just my regular monthly payment, cash value. Well, redirected funds. I started looking for more money where I could put. So a couple months later, I found some more money, whether it was it started stopping the 401k, which is a disaster. The more I learned, stop the 401k. I even utilized money for tithing in here and then take it out and tithe. So I started redirecting some funds, and you could see I redirected money and I kept redirecting. And every time you see the 585, that's just me being consistent, sticking to my plan. 585 was what I knew I had to be able to overfund and cut some pieces, or instead of just holding it into an account to be able to pay it off, whether it was for taxes or whatever, I started redirecting my money into my overfunded whole life policy. That was another 3510 in there. Now in savings, right? I wanted to wait. You want to balance it out. How much money I have when I take it out? I started off, I put in 3,000, put another 2,400. So you're going to see I got them, and we would show you, where to find the money. There's no one that we've ever done business with for us, or at least showed or educated. And even if you don't do anything, we're going to show you where there's what we call inefficient dollars, or where you're putting money in savings and redirect it. My goal is for you to be able to build legacy money, to be able to finance the things that you need to finance, your ability to utilize opportunities. So really, you want to be able to have money when the opportunity is there for you to create more assets. An asset pays you, a liability you pay. And that's where the confusion is. And I didn't understand that with Rich Dad, Poor Dad in the beginning, but now I really, really understand it, right? When you think your house is your asset, your house, as much as the real estate market has gone up, you can't do anything with the equity. So just understand that if you're paying to someone else that mortgage, okay, it's a liability. Now, the object is to get enough assets that are paying you, and then go buy your house with the assets that you have and let the assets pay for your house. So again, I'm just going to show you that I would put 2,400 in. I'd put 450, another 453, 274. I got an opportunity to put 500, and then come December, I was able to have some more cash. I was able to put in another 5,400, another 3,300. I ended up putting $16,000 that I would normally have directed towards my account. My commercial bank was there first, but then I moved it into my policy. So now, not only did I pay off close to $12,000 in high interest, I have $22,000 that is earning uninterrupted compounded interest, and my policy renewed, and I already was able to put in the $23,000, okay, or more money in it. Everyone's going to be able to start differently, but I'm just showing you that's the benefits of overfunded whole life policies that only 5% of the country know, and most of the time is where the wealthy are putting their money. They're just utilizing it as a bank, and you could take a policy on yourself, on your kids, on your grandkids. So super simple. But the key I wanted to show, especially to some of my clients out there, and make sure they understand as we walk them through, is that you may be thinking you're paying this. If you take this out on the last second, yes, you're going to have to pay that. You don't even have to pay these loans back. But if you want to, everyone wants to side hustle, have a business. Well, start your first business should be starting your own banking mechanism, and then fund your businesses out of there, and you get a tax write-off. So again, I started at 4.53%. I was diligent in knowing when I could pay back. I pay back. I'd first fill up as much as I can on PUA so I could get the interest, and I could have that start compounding as fast as possible. By the time 8 months came back, I was going to pay everything back. Yet, if you notice that in this curve, if you notice again in this curve here, right, no matter when I took out money, no matter when I took money out, the cash value never went down. And from that moment of wherever it is, that money starts earning interest year after year until I go on to the next life. Super. That is it. You have any questions, please hit my link, DM me. You can see me on TikTok. Go to my YouTube channel. This is my YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe, hit the notifications so you can know when I'm producing other videos. Listen, I have so much on my head that I want to make a change, and I hope that succinct enough, I'll get better, but I'm on a goal to provide interest or provide education, especially for you young people out there. This is the best thing that you could at least start. This is not your investment vehicle. This is a tool. Think about it's the process. Don't worry about the product. It's a process that you're able to now store your money, to utilize it, to find assets greater than what you're borrowing for, and then return the money like it was your own bank and grow. Just so you know, we started off, this policy ended up was it started off at 484,000. I think it's about $678,000 within a year. So that's just the benefit, the death benefit. Okay. And I'm continuing to use it. Turn your money, use your dollar twice. So I used it once to let it grow in cash value, and I used it twice to be able to pay off high interest. Beautiful. Thank you. Again, stay focused. Remember, it's not the amount of money that you make that counts. It's the plan, the faithful discipline of following that plan that counts. My name is Victor Arocho. I am a specialist in custom, specifically designed policies that's going to get you to where you want to go. Right. We started off small. I've got several policies. This is one of them. I'm taking on another policy as I continue to grow in assets. When I get returns on my assets, I'm going to bring and make sure that I'm putting it in the bank of Arocho. So let us help you build your own bank if that's something you want to be interested in. And particularly for legacy money. Now I know that my kids and my kids' kids are going to be taken care of, and I'm starting a system that I could utilize forever and ever. Thank you very much. Peace. Have a great, great night. God bless.